says she'll extend it for another 60 days.
I really hope not.
In Florida, everything is wide open.
And they're not having too much trouble either.
I mean, wide open.
Yeah, I know it.
No face mask or anything.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's 9 o'clock.
Morning, Bob.
Welcome to the Roscommon County Board of Commissioners work session, March 10th, 2021, 9 o'clock a.m. via Zoom. Item number 1, Roscommon County Peer Group. Michelle Stevenson, please.
Good morning. So back in November, Marv Myers, the county surveyor, and also the person that coordinates the services regarding remonumentation in Roscommon County, reached out to me and had wanted to propose 2 new members to be appointed to the peer group who meet annually or on an as needed basis to review corners, remonumentation markers in the county. And when he sent that, I was knee deep in election stuff, maybe deeper than my knees. And so thankfully he reached back out last month and followed up on that. So in your packet, you should have the information. And we have 2 members that he's recommending to be appointed is Paul McClung and Cole Sorensen. And there's also a list of who the current members are of the peer group. And he's highlighted and made notations near them. So as you can see, our list is a little bit dwindled down by who's actually on there. So if he would appreciate it if you would consider appointing Paul and Cole at the next meeting, because they are in the process of working on the contracts for remonumentation this year. That is all I have on that. If you have any questions, I can do my best to answer them, but
Okay.
Michelle,
yes.
do they also need to then like approve an updated list because these people need to be removed, especially the deceased person, I'm assuming?
You know, that would probably be best, and I'll confirm before we set that next agenda. I'll confirm with him to make sure that we're going to remove all of those people that he has highlighted on there from the list, and then just have it revised with the 2 additions, the 2 new appointees.
Thank you.
Okay, so any commissioner have anything for Michelle in regard to the Roscommon County Peer Group? So we can bring those 2 individuals forward for next meeting for a resolution for a motion, okay?
Okay.
All right, Michelle, you are up second with the meeting room rental policy, please.
Okay, this is the same policy that I presented to you a few weeks ago. The only thing that I didn't have in there is I didn't know the total capacity, occupant capacity for the commissioner's meeting room. I did since receive that information. It is up to 100 people. So is there any changes or anything that you, the commissioners, would like to see on this policy?
Okay, any commissioners out there? Mr. Milburn,
Hand is red.
Mr. Muckenthaler,
No, looks good to me.
Commissioner Russo.
I'm good.
Okay. All right, I'm okay with it too, so we can move it forward.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Item number, geez, this is the Michelle Stevenson work session, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. 2021 apportionment.
Okay, so as you may or may not know, every 10 years we do have a census throughout the entire country. And then the next year, it's time for apportionment. So once we receive the population counts from the Census Bureau, and they've been approved by the president, accepted, however that process is, then the Apportionment Commission must meet. And so the Apportionment Commission actually consists of the county clerk, the county treasurer, the prosecuting attorney, and the statutory county chairperson of each of the 2 political parties receiving the greatest number of votes cast for the office of Secretary of State in the last preceding general election. So that would be the Republican and the Democratic parties. So myself, Treasurer Reagan and Prosecuting Attorney Beebe, along with Gerald Wall. And I'm really sorry, Frank might be able to help me out here. I don't remember the name. There's a new chairperson for the Democratic Party as well. So those individuals, I'll be reaching out to all of them to let them know that whenever we do receive these numbers, that the Apportionment Commission does need to meet and determine the county commissioner districts. So for our county population, which is between the 10,001 to 50,000, we can have not more than 15 county commissioners. So there are some rules that we have to follow when determining these districts. If it's multiple townships, they have to be adjoining. We have to try to make the population count among each district as equal as possible. So those are just some fun things that we'll be working on this year. At some point, I've heard a few different dates that we may not get these numbers until September. We may get them earlier. They do have to have them to the state, as you can see in the email from Jane. They do have to have them to the president by the end of April. So anytime after that, between now and the end of the year, we have, once we get notified of the population numbers, we have within 60 days, not less than 30, no more than 60. We have to meet, the Apportionment Commission has to meet and determine our county commissioner districts, how many county commissioners we're going to have in our county, what those districts are, and submit that to the state.
Okay, and that committee actually only works every 10 years,
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
All right, well, thank you for the information in regards to that.
You're welcome.
All right, any other commissioners have any comments for Michelle or questions in regards to reapportionment?
So basically you guys have the authority to redo the lines if necessary?
Yes.
District line?
Yes, and there has to be a minimum of 5 commissioners, but with our population, we can have no more than 15.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's the way I read it.
Right, okay. All right. Item number 4, Airport Advisory Committee appointments. Mark Milburn.
I'll be quick, Mr. Chair. Airport Advisory Committee, we're looking at Sherry Cinemataro. It's been approved by the Planning Commission. Sherry came to our last airport meeting, was approved by the airport meeting, and with your kind consideration, Mr. Chair, it's my goal to bring forward Sherry Cinemataro's name to be on the airport committee. Thank you, sir.
Do you have some sort of documentation for us, Mark, that we can formally put that into our motion?
I'll have it for you next meeting, sir. Matter of fact, I'll have it done today.
Okay, so that's what our procedure is. So let's follow procedure. All right.
Yeah, we got a letter.
Is that board now full?
I think it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think it is, because Sherry was our last person and we had a good board meeting today. And yeah, Dave, I think we did have everybody there.
I believe, I'm sorry, I believe that we would need to, in the same essence as voting to remove some of these members from the peer group,
Yeah.
we need to also have you vote to remove Nick Sargent, because he was appointed, his term isn't going to be expired before you're appointing Sherry, but he had not attended any of the meetings. So this was to replace him, somebody that would be active and actually available to attend the meetings on a regular basis.
No, thanks, Michelle. Appreciate that guidance. Yeah, we'll take care of it after the meeting before I go home today. We'll see if we can work on that to make sure that everything's cleaned up and clear. Thank you.
Okay, so that's a committee of 5 or 7. Somebody straighten me out.
7.
7. Okay, so we'll have a full committee there. Good. All right. And I know we have a representative from Markey Township, and that's what we've been waiting for. So excellent. All right. Anything else needs to be brought up by any commissioner at this time? Okay, if not, we'll see everyone at 10 o'clock. I think.
Wait. The Democratic Party chair is Lynn Jordan. Thank you, Frank. And Roscommon County, who sent it.
Okay, all right.
2 messages, but so thank you.
All right, okay. We'll be back here at 10 o'clock. This might be our shortest work session on record, so we'll be back at 10 o'clock. Thank you, everyone. Hang on for about 1 minute. We'll start our meeting. Everybody hear me out there?
I can hear you, Bob.
Good, Bob.
All right, good. Okay, good morning, 10 o'clock. Welcome to the Roscommon County Board of Commissioners meeting, March 10th, 2021, via Zoom. Item number 1, item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Commissioner Milburn, would you please lead us in the pledge, please?
Thank you for the so honor, Mr. Chairman. Please stand and rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Michelle, item number 3, roll call to board members, please.
Russo,
Present.
Melvin,
Excused.
Schneider,
Here.
Milburn,
Here.
Muckenthaler.
Here at the office in Roscommon County Building.
Nope, I stand corrected. I'm also in my office at the Roscommon County Building.
Same here.
David Rousseau at my home office on West Shore Drive.
Okay, good. Thanks, guys. Item number 4, approval of the agenda, please.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion is made by Commissioner Milburn, seconded by Commissioner Russo to approve the agenda as read. Any further comments from any commissioner in regards to the approval of the agenda? Hearing none, roll call.
Muckenthaler,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Russo,
Yes.
Milburn.
Yes.
Motion
Okay,
carried.
okay, thank you. Item number 5, approval of the minutes for meetings February 10th, 2021 and February 24th, 2021.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I'll second that. Motion was made by Commissioner Muckenthaler, seconded by Commissioner Snyder to approve the minutes of February 10th, 2021 and February 24th, 2021. Any further comments from any commissioner at this time, please? Okay, hearing or seeing none, roll call.
Milburn,
Yes.
Russo,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Muckenthaler.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, item number 6. Public comment, please. Anyone out there who'd like to have a public comment at this time, please? This is your chance.
Emil Bellenbaum here, sir.
Yes, sir. Emo, I can hear you. Go
Okay.
ahead. I recognize you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. As follow-up for our last meeting, I attended the Microsoft Teams meeting with NEMSCA's board of 30 board members on Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning. And they had an item on their agenda, which was from their lawyer, that they have been meeting with Mr. Pettit, the lawyer for him, and also the lawyer for the COA, and that those talks have broken down, whereas NEMSCA was going to send out a letter as of Monday to our COA board that they were no longer eligible because of non-compliance. So I'm urging you and this board, and I would like to also urge all taxpayers of Roscommon County to attend tomorrow's special meeting at 2 o'clock for the COA via Zoom, and it's listed on their website at rccoa.net as to how to get on to find out if they receive such letter and they are aware that they are being terminated and losing at least $500,000 of NEMSCA's funding because they won't comply with their policies. I thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Any other public comment at this time, please? I will point out there is another public comment at the end of our meeting too, so. Anyone else, please? Okay, hearing or seeing none, we will move to item 7, Class A claims and accounts, please.
Oh, sorry, I just muted myself. Move to approve Class A's in the amount of $1,254,002.06.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion is made by Mr. Muckenthaler, seconded by Commissioner Musso to approve Class A's in the amount of $1,254,002.06. Any further comments by any commissioner at this time? Hearing or seeing none, roll call.
Schneider,
Yes.
Milburn,
Yes.
Russo,
yes,
Muckenthaler,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, Michelle, claims and accounts, please.
Move to approve claims and accounts in the amount of $48,608.67.
I'll
So
make it.
moved.
I'll make that
Second.
motion. Okay, motion is made by Commissioner Sider, seconded by Commissioner Muckenthaler to approve claims and accounts in the amount of $48,608.67. Have any questions concerns from any commissioner at this time, please? Hearing or seeing none, roll call.
Russo,
yes,
Milburn,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Muckenthaler,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Administrator Controller Report. Jody, you are up.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy
Good morning.
Wednesday. So just a quick couple lawsuit updates. We are awaiting the Court of Appeals decision based on their last decision to accept the late filing of Mr. Ellison's brief of why the Court of Appeals should actually hear that case. The Fox versus counties, multiple counties, in regards to the tax foreclosure properties, a local Michigan judge did issue an opinion in regards to their specific case. They rejected the plaintiff's request for fair market value of the property to be paid out on a tax foreclosure case, and did hold that the damage claims would be set at the surplus less the amount of the delinquent taxes, costs, interest, and fees. So basically what they owed in back taxes plus the cost of selling the property that goes along with that. And then anything left over goes back to the defendant. Another positive portion of this ruling was that the treasurer as an individual and as an elected official was not held liable. The bad point for us is that the judge did rule that counties could be held liable because they chose to act as the person enforcing the laws versus allowing the state to enforce their own law. So that would be something to kind of keep in mind as we move forward with tax foreclosure cases. Couple things just to keep you in the loop here. We do have 2 brand new employees who are starting. Brittany Baker, who is our GIS specialist that you approved. She is training right now with our IT department and will be switching to train in equalization next week. We are also moving her into what was the Sawmill office. I'm not sure what the status of Sawmill is for Roscommon right now. I do know that they have not been utilizing that office. We did reach out and let them know that we needed to take that space back if they weren't going to use it anymore. Nobody's been in there in a year, poor plants. And we are going to purchase the furniture they had in there off of them for a reasonable price and box everything up, and we'll have that ready to go when they're ready to come pick it up as well. We also hired Nick Johnson for our Director of Maintenance and Finance. It is my hope that at the next meeting, he will be able to attend virtually, but he is currently still working and employed, so we didn't want to pull him off the job at this point. He will be coming in on Fridays starting this week for, for a day's worth of kind of, I'll call it exploration and learning at this point. He really, while he's transitioning from job A to job B, wants to get the lay of the land and be able to inspect and climb, check the roofs out, all the mechanicals, talk to the people that use the equipment and really kind of understand what's going on, which I think is a very, very good plan of attack. We do have a new administration secretary. We, thank you, Michelle, had an internal candidate, Julie Nordquist, who has transferred over. She started on Monday, and we will slowly begin the process of getting her used to her new roles and responsibilities. But 2.5 days in, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be 110% successful. So that's a pretty positive. Our juvenile detention center. through the help of our sheriff's office, has been able to finally start offering rapid testing for placement. This is a requirement that was put into place through DHHS, that we couldn't take youth unless they had the rapid testing for COVID done. Unfortunately, in our area, there isn't a facility anywhere close to Northern Michigan that offers that rapid testing. So they have not been able to place youth with us throughout the state. The sheriff's office through the state of Michigan has law enforcement related testing, rapid testing kits that are available, and they are working with juvenile detention through the letter of that law enforcement law for juveniles in order to make this happen. And we've doubled our numbers, which is wonderful. So a huge shout out to Sheriff Stern for helping with that. We did have Noelle and I a review of our renewal meeting with our third-party administrators, Jennifer and Nicole, in regards to Priority Health, just to see how we're trending and what our numbers were last year. And I will give you guys a more detailed update probably at the work session next time. I just wanted to get the information and review it myself a little bit more, but it looks pretty good going in. 2020 was unusual, obviously, because of COVID. A lot of really low numbers in March and April, and then everybody, once they could finally get in December, going in for those minor surgeries and outpatient surgeries they hadn't been able to have. There was an airport meeting last week. I'm sure that Commissioner Milborn will touch on it. Essentially, there is a letter that I'm drafting up in regards to the airport committee needing to move forward with a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners for a navigation easement. We will be giving an update on that at the first April meeting, so that the board has that information. We would like to give the neighboring property owner who will be affected an opportunity to accept the first compromise and land swap propositions that had been brought to this Board of Commissioners and approved by the Airport Advisory Committee. We just unfortunately can't wait much longer to do something, simply because we are not in compliance. We could be looking at, potentially affecting our federal funding, and that's huge for our airport. This county cannot afford to run that airport without that federal funding, and certainly with the ability to operate on both full runways that we currently have. Our Gypsy Moth is in full swing. We are in the process right now. Julie Crick and then Daniel Marhoff are in the process of finalizing these spray blocks. As you remember, we did offer out to individuals to work with their townships if they were not included in a spray block and their parcels either A, abutted a current spray area, or B, were 40 acres or more. They could self-pay essentially and contract through to the township for the process of passing money through. I don't have the total counts of that, but I know that about half of our townships did have some participation through that. So it was nice to see. We've gotten a lot more feedback, information, questions, comments than I can ever remember getting. And a lot of that is the information has been out there. Where are the spray blocks? What is going on? What was the process? So reaching out to our community is successful at this point. It has definitely been a very positive change that we've made in the Gypsy Moth program. Obviously, we'll probably be spraying anywhere from 27 to 28,000 acres this year. Quick note, if you round that up by the cost, you're looking at probably $800,000 in spray that we will be doing for 2021, by far the largest spray block since the inception of the program. I did attend a codes of conduct training that I have some information I will pass on individually to the Board of Commissioners on what boards could potentially do as far as adopting codes of conduct. And this is just moving forward with maybe some changes to the board rules and a kind of an overall packet that our clerk has been thinking of making for each of the Board of Commissioners as kind of a quick reference guide. Essentially, it's just, this is what the expectation is as a Roscommon County Board of Commissioner. And then if you have people that do choose to run, they can have that information so that they're aware of what is expected as far as attendance in appointed and mandatory meetings. Quick reminder, touched on this earlier, but the legislature for virtual meetings, as far as those covered by the Open Meetings Act, which is every meeting that this Board of Commissioner has and all of your subcommittees, along with those meetings that Planning Commission meetings, those types of meetings, they end on 3/31 for virtual. The word through the lobbyists is that there will not be an extension of that because the option to create your own local emergency order to allow for virtual meetings exists. So therefore, the legislature will probably not pass an extension of this legislation. So that would be up to the Board of Commissioners if you wanted to pass a local emergency order, or just continue to go back to in-person meetings. So keep that in mind. The last couple things I want to touch on are just some really quick hiring updates for you. I am in the process of creating that request for proposals for the larger information technology projects that may or may not have been handled in-house. And then as soon as Phil can breathe, because he's involved with every one of the people that I mentioned earlier as being, has been recently hired, we will get that job description updated and complete so we can start on that process before we know it. We'll be running out of time. The last thing is we do have 2 new part-time hires in corrections, and our 911 center is still actively recruiting and testing and interviewing for candidates for dispatch as well. Finally, something I would just encourage the Board of Commissioners to reach out and research and be aware of for several variations is there is a bill at the federal level that actually was passed by the US House. It was either March 3rd or March 4th. I did not write down the date. It is the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act. There are a lot of very good points in this bill that I have read. The part that will affect us as a county, municipality, and potentially down the road, not in this bill, but could potentially down the road affect you as elected or appointed officials for a government agency, is what they call the qualified immunity. So essentially it's that portion of laws that allows for law enforcement officers, is specifically what's mentioned in this bill, but all of us, to make an error in best judgment, but not be sued for it. That's the best way that I can put it. Now, there are several instances where I could see that qualified immunity may be viewed as a hindrance in the legal systems. Unfortunately, this is a blanket, get rid of qualified immunity for all law enforcement officers. And the effects of that, if that happens, will be striking on the law enforcement community. Certainly you will see a downward trend, even worse than we have, of people willing to enter law enforcement. Additionally, willing to enter any law enforcement related careers, looking at things such as probation or those types of areas. Also, there is that fact that our costs will increase as a county for liability. Our costs will increase for the potential of errors and omissions types of lawsuits. So that would be an interesting view on where that would take us. Finally, the thing to consider with qualified immunity as well is, while the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act is obviously aimed at policing, qualified immunity actually protects all of those, but the people that willfully commit a crime or are just totally inept at what they're doing. So down the line, we could definitely see some changes. So I would just reach out to you and review that. If you have a personal opinion at it, reach out to your local for pros and cons of that bill. So that's it.
Okay. Anybody, any other commissioner have any comments in regards to our administrator controller report?
No,
No,
Okay, I just had one comment and I wanted to throw it out there for everybody. In regards to meetings, we are looking at this point, it's all speculation, but at this point we'll be meeting in our meeting room on April 14th. And at that particular meeting, we'll be back to public meetings, but at the same time, I want to thank our clerk, Michelle Stevenson, because we've got the technology there, so we can continue to Zoom the meetings. But although commissioners and anybody that wants to show up for the public can't attend at that meeting. So Herb, to answer your question, you'll be able to attend our meeting in person on the 14th of April. But if there's anybody out there, we'll also have the capabilities to Zoom that also. So I wanted to thank Michelle for spearheading that and getting that around for us, because I think it'll help with transparency and it'll get us out there, and we'll have more people, hopefully more interested in what's going on at the county board. Okay, that's my only comments on that. So on to correspondence. First one is a packet for Central Michigan District Health Department. There's our minutes are included, our agenda is included, and we haven't had that in the past, but I'm really glad we started to include that. So some of the other commissioners and everybody can see what they're doing down there. So any questions in regards to the health department packet? Okay, thank you. Item B is Barrett from Berrien County, and it's regards to a resolution that they did in regards to the pandemic. Item C is a thank you letter from Dr. Vijay Kumar, his appointment to the EDC board. Item D is from Livingston County, and it also is in regards to a COVID-19 pandemic resolution. Item E also is a pandemic resolution from Otsego County, which is Gaylord. Item F is Crawford County, which is also a resolution in regards to COVID-19 and pandemic. Item G, Frank Pichek, in regards to our COVID resolution that we passed last month. Item H, Muskegon River Watershed Assembly has got a new executive director and welcomes new directors. So copy of that. Item I, MSU 4-H March. There's a number of things and all the different programs that MSU Extension is doing for us. And item J is a one-page update in regards to COVID. So any commissioners have any questions in regards to correspondence at this time, please? Okay, hearing nothing. Moving on to monthly reports. We've got the sheriff's report. So for the month. Any questions on the sheriff's report from any commissioner at this time? Okay, item number 11. Do we have any visitors that'd like to be recognized at this time, please? Okay, hearing or seeing none, we will move to item 12. Any commissioners have any unfinished or new business at this time, please? Okay, hearing or seeing none. On to number 13, Michelle, motions and resolutions, please.
Okay, ready?
Ready when you are. Thank you.
Move to reappoint Angie Griffiths, MSN-CCHP, to serve as voting representative on the Northwest Michigan Community Mental Health Board for a 3-year term beginning April 1, 2021 through March 31st, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Second.
Motion was made by Commissioner Muckenthaler, seconded by Commissioner Snyder to reappoint Angie Griffiths to the Northwest Michigan Community Health Department Board for 3-year term. Any other comments from any commissioner at this time? I'd just like to point out that I believe this is Angie's second term. Am I correct, Jody? Correct. So she's a reappointment and she's doing a really good job and she's on there along with Al Cambridge. So with that, roll call.
Russo,
Yes.
Milburn,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Muckenthaler,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay.
Motion number 2, move to approve the proposed employment agreement between Roscommon County and Jody L. Valentino for the purpose of employment as the Administrator Controller for Roscommon County, Michigan, to perform all of the functions and duties specified by law and other legally permissible and proper duties and functions as the Roscommon County Board of Commissioners shall from time to time assign by resolution. Upon approval and acceptance, this agreement will remain in effect through midnight on February 28, 2024.
So move.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Motion made by Commissioner Russo, seconded by Commissioner Milburn to approve the employment agreement between Roscommon County and Jody L. Valentino, Administrator Controller for Roscommon County. And in a nutshell, it's a 3-year contract effective till midnight, February 28th, 2024. Any further comment for any commissioner at this time, please? Okay. The only comment I had is that the copy of her contract is included in your packet, so I just wanted to make sure I referred to that, all right? Hearing nothing else, roll call, Michelle.
Muckenthaler,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Milburn,
Yes.
Russo,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, thank you. And
Welcome.
I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Jody for doing such a good job in the past, and we're looking forward to continuing our relationship for the next 3 years. Thank you. Okay. Item 14, committee reports, please.
This is Commissioner Muckenthaler. On March 5th, I had a virtual meeting with MCOG, which is the East Michigan Council on Government. And we had claims and accounts. And I would like to say that for the person of the year, myself and Mr. Schneider met with Rhonda Lamberg down at the Resorter and presented her with that and the paper with her picture. That's it.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Commissioner Muckenthaler? Okay, who's next? David.
Go. I attended a housing meeting 2 weeks ago, claims and accounts, and an airport meeting.
Okay, anybody have any questions in regards to Commissioner Russo's report? All right, Commissioner Milburn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I had a district health meeting with yourself, and we did have an airport meeting. In regard to what was discussed earlier, it is my intention as the chairman of that committee, and I think I can speak for the board as a group. We're looking to aggressively pursue an aviation agreement or get an agreement on our initial proposal with the landowner in question. Also tomorrow at 2:30 at the Northwest Community Action Agency new building at the Head Start, I've invited the public and also the commissioners to meet with Kim Shervin for a walkthrough. It's going to occur from 2:30 to 4. I'll get there probably about 3:30 because I do have a meeting tomorrow, a special board meeting of the COA at 2 o'clock. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Any comments in regards to Commissioner Milburn's report? Okay, we're down to the chairman. We had a health department meeting on February 24th at 4 o'clock. That was done via Zoom. We also had an 8 o'clock Zoom meeting on February 25th for the EDC, and had the agenda meeting on Thursday, March 4th. So, and that's all I've got as far as the chairman is concerned. Any other comments from anybody? Okay. Item 15, do we have any public comment at this time, please? Yes, Jody.
I just want to say thank you for approving my contract. I do love my job. I am blessed with wonderful elected officials and department heads that have very similar values and goals and morals as I do. So it's a great place for me to be. So I do appreciate that.
Okay. Frank, does that hand on my thing mean you want to be recognized, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay, go ahead.
I just,
First time I've ever seen that, okay?
trying to raise my hand, get my attention. I just wanted to speak in support of the idea of hybrid meetings. I think this increases, as stated, increases visibility for those of us who are trying to maintain safety and just access. So a hybrid meeting, both in person and Zoom at your level, I fully support that idea. Thank you very much.
Frank, I like that you put on their hybrid meeting. That sounds better than transparency to me, okay? And like I say, it's a thanks to Michelle Stevenson for getting us that technology that we can do that. So going forward, I'm really kind of excited about that. So thank you for your comments, sir. Any other public comment at this time, please? Okay, hearing or seeing none, I entertain a motion number 16 for adjournment.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Milburn, seconded by Commissioner Russo to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. See you next month.